Hello my dear student, welcome back to Arunavasir bio class. So today we discuss a very important chapter for the CBSE board. Now this is a very important chapter for the CBSE class 7. This chapter is most important for your exam, that is the fiber and fabric. This chapter is very important for your daily life also, because we are used different type of fibers in every day, but how it is come and how it is produced, that is we discuss in today class. Number one, first we discuss about the most important topic, that is the source of woolen fibers. What is the different source from where we are get the fibers? But you already know that fibers or fabrics, this is the most useful words that is used in the recent time, that is the fabrics, and these fabrics are made up from the fibers, but a question arises, what are the fibers? The fibers can be natural or it can be synthetic in nature, right? In the case, we already know that the cotton, like jute, are obtained from the plants, so that is the natural fibers. Also we get the fibers in animal source, right? So like wool and silk, which is obtained from the animals. So we conclude that the plants and animals both are applicable to produce the fibers, and from these fibers the fabrics are produced, right? So cotton fibers, that is the jute fibers, silk fibers, and it was the wool fibers. So you already know that they have the different uses, different products are produced, right? But at first we today discuss about the wool, wool that is obtained from the sheep, right? This is obtained from the sheep, clear? But it is only the sheep that is give the wool. What is your answer? Only the sheep is there? There are various other animals, not only the sheep, which give the wools, like the goat, like the yak, like the llama, like the camel, like the alpaca. These are different animals which is also produce the wool. So the sheep is not a single member, right? Now a common features of this wool which is yielding animals is that they have thick hairs on their bodies. So which animals give the wool? They have the common features. They have a thick cover on their body. So they get or they produce the wool. That is the common features you can observe in the all type of animals which is produce the wool. Another one, why they have the thick hairs on their body? This is a natural adaptive features of the animals, because you observe that this type of animals are generally grow in the colder area. You know, in the colder area, in the winter time, their time are very cool. Also in the summer season, that time also is some cool region also with there. So every times like cold area. So how the animals are survive? So their body are covered of the thick hairs. So this is the characteristic features of the all animals. Like you observe that it is on the sheep, in the goat, yak, and the alpaca and the camels all have some common features. In the Tibet and Ladakh, yak wool is very common. In the different regions, different type of wools are very famous. Similarly, in the Tibet and Ladakh, the yak wool is very common. You know, the hilly regions of Jammu and Kashmir and the Angora goats, a special type of goats it is commonly found that yield the Angora wool. This is a very famous type of wool, and they are very famous of the Pashmina shawl. It is obtained from underfur of the Kashmiri goat. This Kashmiri goat have the different type of layers, but in the under surface we get this type of wool, right? So this is the most important. Now we discuss the major source of the wool is the sheep. They have no doubts. Sheep is the major source and most common source also. A sheep has the two type of hairs on their body. Two type of hairs. First of one, in hard and the coarse, the beard hair, that is the outer covering, and in the inner surface they have some soft and fine under hair. Which one is the better for the wool? You guess which one is the better? That is, the wool is made from soft and fine under hair of the sheep. So under hair of the sheep is the most important. Some breeds of the sheep only process the soft under hair. So this type of animals have the greater advantages. And this characteristics is induced by the sheep by a process of the hybridization or selective breeding process. If we are breed the suitable type of animals which have the only under hairs, so their offspring which is produced, they have the similar characteristic features, that is are happening by the process of the selective breeding process. In our India, in the different regions, we have the different type of breed that is very famous in that particular regions. Like Lohi, good quality wool, that is we are get from, and this quality is very good, and it is often from the Rajasthan and Punjab where this is rearing. And that is the Marwari, it's the quality wool is the coarse wools generally, and their place of rearing, that is the Gujarat. And the Patandi, that is the for hosiery purpose this type of wool are used, and this is also be there in the Gujarat. Nali, this is for the carpet wool, and Rajasthan, Haryana and Punjab is there where this type of sheep are rearing for the wool. And the Bakhwari for woolen shawls, Jammu and Kashmir, that is a very famous type of wools. And the Rampur, Busari, the brown fleshy, that means the brown color wools. Naturally they are brown in nature, brown in color, and Uttar Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh is the most common region where this is rearing. Now we discuss very important a process involving the rearing and breeding of sheep to obtain the fibers of the wool. Rearing and breeding process. So this is have the different steps. What is the different steps is there? One by one we are discuss. So at first we try to understand sheep is the domesticated animals. They are present in our domestic area. So they are domestic animals which they are mostly reared for wool and meat. This is the two purpose. For that reason they are rearing wool, and second one is the meat. And when the fleecy means the hairs which is covering their body, sheep grow long, they are cut and wool is made up from them. So that is the naturally this is that grow in their bodies. When they are grow so long, that time it is cut and the wool are produced. The first step of obtaining wool from the sheep is the rearing and breeding process. So we are now discuss total some details about this thing. Number one, rearing and breeding technique. Sheep are reared in many parts of your country. But generally the hilly region are more suitable for the growing of this type of animals. Like sheep are usually reared in the breed in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttaranchal, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, and they are also reared in the plain area like the Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan and Gujarat. Not only the hilly region is there, that is not the true. Plain regions also be there where they are grow. Sheep are herbivorous animals. That time they are ultimately eat the herbs, they are eat plant eater. They feed on grass and leaves. To obtain the good quality of wool from the sheep, that time the shepherds who are the reared the sheep also give them some mixture of pulses, some corn, jowar, oil cakes. That time they get the balanced food. Balanced food is very necessary to the suitable and optimum growth. And the shepherds are usually seen in the taking their breeds of sheep from the grazing on the mountain in India, but however in the winter season they kept in a inner part, that means in the indoor. That time they provide leaves, grains and the dry food like. So this is the first step, rearing and breeding. And second step is the shearing. The fleeces means the hair of the sheep are removed along the layers of the skin. You can observe this picture also. It is normally done in which hot weather, because in the hot weather temperature comparatively high, so that the sheep can survive without its fur, right? So it is ultimately not surprising that the sheep does not get hurt while it is here. This is so because the uppermost layer of the skin is the dead, so they do not get any sensation from it. If you are cut out the nail, so you do not get any sensation. Same thing is happening in there. If you are cut down the hair, that time you have some bad feelings? No, because they have no sensation. Same thing is there. And scoring is the third step of this process, in where the sheared skin with the hair is then washed through thoroughly. This ultimately wash out, and to remove the dust or some dirty substance, it is removed out from this technique. And scoring can be done in the tanks or by the machines. Generally the machines are used for this purpose. And now the step 4, it is the sorting. Hair of the different texture are then separated. Different texture, different hair are separated in that process. Now the separation of birds. In there, birds are small fluffy fibers that are separated from hairs, and these fibers are again ultimately scored and dried. The wool is now ready to be drawn into the fibers. Now it is converted to fibers, drying the fibers. Fibers and dried, and put the different colors and rolling into the yarn. So that times fibers often are then straightened, combed and rolled into the yarns, and these yarns are then used to make fabrics. So this is the different steps that is very useful, right? So in our today class we discussed the most important some topics. What is the different steps for the rearing and breeding, and how we get the wool, right? So in today class, from that point, next class we discuss about the process involved of the obtaining silk from the silk moth. Okay, so thank you all of you. Okay, and wish you best of luck.